Hey everybody, it's Travis, and I'm back with my next book review. This name should be familiar or might be familiar, The Diary of a CEO, 33 Laws of Business and Life, and it's by podcast host Steven Bartlett. Before I get started with the book review, I just encourage everybody to like and comment on this video and then subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really means a lot. It helps me make more of these videos, and it also spreads my videos to other people, and I think other people would benefit from it. So let's get into this book, The Diary of a CEO. First, let's talk about where this name originates from. It's actually one of the most popular podcasts in the world, and it is operated and owned and founded by Steven Bartlett. And Steven Bartlett is the author of this book as well. Steven Bartlett is a British Nigerian entrepreneur, investor, author, podcast host. He has really emerged onto the scene in popular media over the past 5 years or so. In 2014, he got his big start as the founder and CEO of Social Chain, which is a big marketing firm. And then in 2017 was technically the year where he started the Diary of a CEO podcast. And that's how I got my introduction to Steven Bartlett. I love psychology, I love self-improvement, I love business, and just being well-rounded in all facets of your life. And that's where I found Steven's podcast, The Diary of a CEO. And it's a phenomenal podcast. I mean, he's got incredible names: Jimmy Fallon, all sorts of sports people, Jordan Peterson, famous psychologist. He has tons of names. I think he might have even interviewed Matthew McConaughey, but the names are all over the place, and it's a podcast really for anybody and people who are especially interested in improving their lives. And one thing that really attracted me to Steven's content is when you listen to his podcast, he's very soft-spoken, very gentle with his voice and with his words, but he's also very, very intelligent and really sharp. And he's really down to earth. He's always asking questions. He's very humble, and he always wants to look for wisdom and wants to learn about things that he doesn't already know about. And that's something that's very endearing, and it really drew me into Steven Bartlett's podcast. And when I heard that he had a book of the same name, I knew I had to check it out. So if you want to read this book, or if you're interested, or you just want to know if The Diary of a CEO, the book, is for you, it's really for people that are interested in self-improvement, people who are interested in business, improving their lives, wisdom, self-development. Really, all of those topics are encapsulated in this book. Also, if you're interested in books that are numbered with numbered laws and rules, I'm thinking about The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene as well, The 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. This book is for you. The 33 Laws of Business and Life. It's actually 32 laws that are in the book, and I'll get to that point later on in the book review. But if you're into those topics and you're into those types of books, you'll be right at home with the Diary of a CEO book. In terms of the positives of this book, very easy to read. Right off the bat, Steven talked about how he wants this book to be concise, short and sweet, and very easy to read. Being the fact that it's a book with 33 laws in it, that could make the reader think that it is going to go on and on and on, probably 800 pages, 1,000 pages in length, but it's actually like 200 to 300 pages in length, and it's very digestible. And there's a lot of quotable passages and paragraphs and sentences, and there's a lot of information on each page, and that's a really good benefit. Another benefit and positive of this book is that Steven Bartlett is very slick with the business acumen. He's very intelligent, and he has firsthand experience with all these different companies that he founded, and he is a proven businessman. And so for me, I've read a lot of these business self-improvement books, and I'm always a little skeptical before I pick up the next one, like, oh, I've probably read all of this stuff already. But no, Steven Bartlett actually packed this book full of wisdom. And I heard some of the stuff, but I also learned a lot of new material. And part of the laws that I found most beneficial, I'll share them very briefly with you. So I have my notes here, and I have 5 laws here that I have taken down that I'm going to just rattle off. The first law, fill your buckets in the right order. And I'm going to get to what the 5 buckets are in the quotes that I really liked from this book. Law 10, useless absurdity will define you more than useful practicalities. I'm going to say that again. Law 10, useless absurdities will define you more than useful practicalities. And this is an interesting law, and it talks about how the most outrageous, absurd, outlandish, weird thing about you is often what people most know you for. And the example that Stephen used is that back in 2014, when he founded this company, The Social Chain, he spent a ton of money, an extraordinary amount of money, building this office in a warehouse. And it had all sorts of different gadgets and different things that people visiting and people working there would enjoy, like, let's say like a pool table or like a darts board or like a foosball table, stuff that people could play games on, etc. But one crazy thing that he installed into his warehouse office is a big blue slide with a ball pit at the bottom. And it was so absurd, it was so random. And the blue slide with the ball pit is actually what Stephen was most known for anytime he had to do any press releases. Every single media publication was asking for him to pose in that blue slide with the ball pit. And even though he was a marketing guy, the blue slide was what he became synonymous for. The next law here is Law 15. Frame matters more than the picture. Frame matters more than the picture. Oftentimes, it's not the actual thing that we're focused on, but how it's presented to us. And a good example of this law was, I think it was in 2007, but it was in the Washington, D.C. metro area. These video producers, they wanted to film a social experiment, and so they hired this world-renowned violinist. And his name was Joshua Bell, and he was at the L'Enfant Plaza, DC Metro Station, playing in the lobby, and he had this $3.5 million violin. I think it's called a Stradivarius violin. And he was playing it there out in the open for the everyday passerby people going to use the train. And after like several hours of playing, he had his guitar or his violin case open for people to throw money into it. He made like $50. Couple nights before, that same guy, Joshua Bell, the world-renowned violinist, was playing in an auditorium filled with people, and everybody was there to see him, and he was the biggest draw, and each ticket was $100. And so this law did a good job of explaining how frame matters, and how something is packaged really matters, almost as important, if not more important, than what the thing is actually. The next law, Law 18, fight for the first 5 seconds. The examples that Stephen Bartlett used was for YouTube videos, and the first 5 seconds make it very interesting. I'm not very interesting in my first 5 seconds. Hey everybody, Travis here, back with a new YouTube video. I'm probably going to change that. But Stephen Bartlett for the Diary of a CEO, his intros are very engaging, very exciting. They bring you to the edge of your seat because you really want to watch the video. Mr. Beast is another great example of a YouTuber who, in the first 5 seconds, he's like, we're here in Egypt, we're going to go to the 3 pyramids, we're going to go to where no one else has gone before, blah, blah, blah. And so he gets your attention within the first 5 seconds. So fight for those first 5 seconds. Really attention grabbing. Law 32, I'm not going to expound on this one, but it was interesting. You should read the book for more. You must be an inconsistent leader. You must be an inconsistent leader. Very interesting. Check it out. Negatives of the book. There was no Law 33. And that was something that I was very disappointed on. When I got to Law 33, it was a big fat QR code. And I'm like, dude, that's gross. I totally get wanting to be a marketing guy and wanting people to read your book and then jump to your website. But don't promise 33 laws of business and life and have to make me whip out my phone, scan the QR code, and go to your website. Like, I get the engagement businessman side of things, but just give the 33 laws in the book. Okay, you wrote this book, make sure all 33 laws are in it. So that's something that bothered me. And that's pretty much it. It was a little disappointing not to see that 33rd law in there, and I'd have no idea what it is because I'm not going to scan that QR code. Overall, I'm going to give this book a 7.5 out of 10. The difference between a 7.5 and a 10 comes in that QR code, but overall, really good book. Highly recommend The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. Follow me on Instagram, Travis D'Souza Quotes, and on X at Travis D'Souza for more wisdom, more quotes that'll help you throughout your day. Thanks everybody for watching. Take care. Until next time. Bye.